Hi everyone and welcome for this tutorial how to paint Deadwalker zombie. We are going to use a very simple method. We are going to use at beginning a lot of contrast paint to push our base color everywhere, and after step by step we are going to push the highlight on every different element to have more and more volume on your miniatures. Don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel and to click on the ring to be sure to see all the tutorial I'm going to show you for Cursed City. So now for the Plague Bearer flesh, I'm going to put it on all the flesh part, and after that I'm going to push some contrast blood angel red on the different clothes. I decided to use red because it's going to push a nice contrast between my red and my skin, were a little bit green. As you can see, I'm going to put some small part of red everywhere we can see some blood. When you push your blood angel red, don't hesitate to dilute by half with some medium. It's going to be a little bit less covering, but better at apply. Now, just before I apply the Pathicum Gray, you can see on all the wood part I apply a little bit of Gore Gruncha brown. That color is going to be used on leather, but I love to put it on wood when I want some very dark wood. Now with some Creed camo from contrast again, I'm going to push all the grass part to have a green base on all the grass part. And with some Space Wolf Gray, I'm going to push on all the part who are going to be some stone. As you can see, when I push my contrast, I have a lot of contrast on my brush, and I'm going to put it in a few steps directly on all the surfaces. And now with some skeleton order, I'm going to push on the paper on the different elements who are going to be in white. Now with a mix between Nurgling green and white from Procolor, I'm going to push highlights on every part. We are going to take a lot of highlights. I'm going to do a special tutorial for all my boss on Patreon about how to put the different way to put your highlights on a miniatures, and that's going to complete the special tutorial about how to dilute your color. Now directly with pure white, I'm going to put some point of highlight in smaller and smaller surfaces, just to focus the attention on the point who are going the more light. By the way, by using this kind of methods, you are going to have less time on the different part, because the part you are going to paint will be smaller and smaller. And step by step I'm going to gain on time and on quality, because we are going to push the eyes of people who are going to see your miniatures on the smaller surfaces. The surfaces you are going to put a lot of light. As you can see, I put again a little bit and some points of highlights on every part of the bird. And same on the stone, I'm going to push some highlights on some edges. And by the way, I'm going, for example, to put some point of light, for example, on the top of the skull, just because it's going to focus the attention and focus the light on some few points. Now I'm going to mix between some flat earth brown from Prince August and some white from Procolor, and pushing my highlight on every wood part. Step by step I'm going to add more and more white into my mix to push again and again my highlight on the smaller and smaller surfaces. Don't hesitate to ask if you have any question directly in the comment section. I will answer as soon as possible. And now with just a few white, I'm going to push again my highlight on some few part. Just for you to know, this paint take me something like 20 minutes to base, and same 20 minutes to push all my different highlights. Now with some basilicum gray, I come back on the bird just to push a little bit more dark color directly on this bird, just to have something more dark. And now with some black, I'm going to come back at the end of every wood part, just to create an effect where are going to be a little bit strange on this part. So I'm kind of showing that wood is alive or something like that, just to show that part is it's strange into the miniatures. Every time I use a color, for example, previously the black color, I'm going to use it on not only on one part but on all the parts I can, on all the different parts of the miniatures. Just I use now some white just to push a little bit more highlights on some very few parts, and just previously I used directly some middle green just to push my highlights on the grass part. As you can see now, with the white I just push some few points. Now with some dark sea blue, I come back into the red with a very diluted color, just to push a little bit more my shadow and create more volume on the part I'm going to use. Now with some Evanescence red, I'm going to push my highlight on the closest just by using this, and after just by using a little bit of white into my Evanescence, and I will finish just by adding a little bit more white into my mix. Here is the result. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell. You can always support me on Patreon, so you will have access to some special tutorial. Take a look to the next tutorial. It will come for Cursed City. I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much, and see you soon for the next tutorial. Bye bye.